Hello, everyone. Welcome back as we continue on, getting a chance to visit with some future crop of Fargo Force, some guys that have been drafted here in the Phase 1 and 2 draft, with the draft taking place last week with the United States Hockey League. And I'm going to visit with Trevor Griebel. He was the second player selected last week in the Phase 2 draft by the Fargo Force, and he joins us from California. Trevor, welcome. Thanks for sharing a few minutes with us.
Hey, Brad. Thanks for having me.
You're in California, and you've pretty much, I understand, you've grown up kind of in warm weather locales. Is that accurate?
Yeah, this would be my second summer here in California, and then just before that it was my first year headed up to Wenatchee. My parents moved from Arizona, so definitely two hot places. So,
how do you? Someone that kind of grew up in warm weather climates, how did you get into hockey?
Growing up, my dad, thankful enough, he works in the National Hockey League. He's a manual therapist. So he worked with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He worked with the Coyotes and now with the Ducks. And I think my brother he started with him. He was first on the skates, and when he was out there skating, I remember I was kind of just banging on the glass, like wanting to get out there. My parents took me to like the rental skate place, and they put me on a pair of skates. They didn't think I'd like it, but of course I loved it and just kind of stuck with it ever since. So
the rest is history, as they say. So
yeah, exactly.
So the last couple of years you've been in the British Columbia Hockey League, playing in Canada, and I'd imagine the travel thing probably doesn't bother you. You've had to move around a few times in your young life. So being away from home, was it a big change in your life?
Yeah, my first year away from home was a little tough. I think I didn't really get a whole lot adjusted till Christmas. But most players are like that, and just coming back from the Christmas break, you already really know what to expect, and the group of guys you're going back to. Everybody's a little bit more familiar with the league and their situation there away from the ice and the Billet family. So, after Christmas, I just felt like a new player kind of, and just was happy to be there. And it was way better.
I know the Force in the past, and the few years that I've been involved with the organization, broadcasting some of the games, have brought in some guys from the British Columbia Hockey League. It seems like they fit in very well. Describe the level of play, the quality of play that you've experienced in the BCHL.
Yeah, I think it's a great league. I think that it's a fast-paced playing league, a lot of offense. I don't think you'll see too many 2-1 games in that league a night, more like 5-4s or stuff like that. Just it's a lot of fast-paced. They like their defensemen getting inside their rush. They like all three forwards going fast, and just a lot of offense in that league, and a lot of fast play.
You had one of your teammates last year also was drafted by the Force, in Brett Troitsky.
Yeah, Brett Troitsky, big centerman, first year last year. I thought he came on. He was way better than obviously what you expect a first year to be. He took on a big role and was a big shutdown centerman for us. So. He'll be a great player to have.
You can give yourself a scouting report on yourself. What kind of player? How would you describe your style of play?
Yeah, I think I'm a two-way defenseman. I like to try to pick my spots to join the rush when I can, but I really like my defensive game as well. Being a little bit smaller, I like to say my agility is where kind of keeps me fit for some of the guys that are maybe bigger in strength. Keeping a good stick and being able to kind of maneuver around the ice quicker and just a little bit more agility based has definitely helped me.
Since the pandemic closed down the hockey season pretty much everywhere, at least shutting things down for the time being, what have you been able to do to try and stay in shape? How often? Where have you been able to try and train and stay in shape and get ready for the call whenever that comes?
Yeah, thankful enough, in my garage here I have a power rack, so I can do a bunch of things from squatting or chest or just about anything with that. So I'm thankful to have that. And then I also got like a balance board, stick handle, work a little bit of core with that. And then just a cardio bike to kind of work on cardio.
Do you find yourself when you're in a situation like this that you're pretty motivated to get in a daily routine every day, or is it tougher when you don't have somebody pushing you? Or do you need maybe you need a little kick?
Yeah. Well, having my dad home, he's always there to kind of help me give that kick. So, no days off when he's here. So, yeah, he's making sure that, we got our schedule down to every few days we're either hitting legs or we're hitting upper body or some piece of the body to get better. Or doing cardio or going mountain biking. And just making sure I get my stick handling in and shooting pucks, because that's something that everybody can put in a little bit of time every day to do. So,
when you found out you were drafted by Fargo, I imagine you talked to the coaches a little bit. Your first impression and what you expect from the Force?
Talking to Mr. Eads and Coach Lammy, it was great when I heard my name drafted by Fargo. I know it's a great organization and just a great league. So, nothing really can get much better than Fargo, I'd say.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. It's been a league, and I'd imagine you've talked to some guys that maybe are familiar with the USHL or maybe have played in it. You've got a pretty. I would think you'd have from what you've played in the last couple of years. I don't think the adjustment's going to be real great for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely the USHL, it might be just a little that half step above maybe the British Columbia League. But I've played with a lot of players who have either come from the United States League over or vice versa. And so I've been able to kind of pick their brains and ask them the differences that they've noticed. So, just thankful enough to have those guys that I can kind of ask questions.
All right, a couple of other things. We're going to try and step outside the ice a little bit here. Is there an activity? Are you a music guy? What do you do to try to unplug from hockey when you get the chance?
In the summer, I like to obviously go to the beach, and me and my dad like to kind of go down by the water and play track ball. I don't know if you ever played that, but it's kind of like got these two rackets with the ball, and it's kind of like playing pass, but It's fun to do. Just kind of got the breeze going down by the beach. Nothing really can be better. So that's something I like to do, just kind of pass time. And then also I like to play soccer, indoor soccer in the summer. Find that's a good way to it's indoor soccer, so you get to a little bit of hockey-like relation with the boards there, and it's also good cardio. So.
All right, one final note here. If there's a pregame music mix, there's something that you need to get yourself going prior to a game. What are we gonna hear in that mix?
In Wenatchee, we were big on like the EDM mixes that just kind of keep going, so no one's gotta keep flipping from different song to song. So it's called Big Booty Mix, and probably volume 12 was our go-to last year. So yeah. Got
it. Trevor, we certainly appreciate a few minutes with you. Looking forward to having you come to Fargo and be a part of the Force here, and hopefully sooner than later. But appreciate the time. Stay safe.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for having me.
You bet.